The WCA home has private rooms for seniors who need assisted living. We are a nonprofit home founded 125 years ago for women, now seeking approval for men. Our mission has always been top-notch assisted living. Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Chautauqua Sunrise. We got a great show in store for you. There's all kinds of props in the studio, and we got some pictures, and my guest is waiting in the green room to come on, and it's going to be a fun show. So please, if you can't stay for the whole thing, tune back at 2 and 8 o'clock this evening and throughout the week, because it'll be on over and over and over again. And again, if you can't watch it then, you can always check us out on YouTube. And all 220 plus shows, whatever we're on now, is 222 are on YouTube, and happy to do that for you as well. Also, remember that if you have a question, a comment, something that you want to share with your organization, club, whatever, a birthday, anniversary, give us a call at 753-5225 and be happy to hear from you. I always love to hear from our listeners and viewers. Sometimes some of you leave comments on Facebook, and I do encourage you to do that as well. But please give us a call here in the morning if you are able to. I'd like to hear from you. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on email, we're everywhere in social media right now. That I think that most people use. Okay, got a few things to share with you, then some announcements, and of course then we'll get to our guest. It's autumn. It's hard to believe. They changed the pictures even behind me. Move over here so you can see the beautiful maple leaves. On the way up here today, I saw a couple trees that pretty much look like that color of the beautiful reds and crimsons in the maple leaves. It's official. Temperatures are dropping into the 50s tomorrow. Isn't it amazing how, like, a week ago it was in the 80s, and as soon as we get close to the end of summer on the calendar, it's like somebody flips a switch. It's just bing, there we are. And for us that always say, oh, I don't want to live down south because we enjoy the 4 seasons. Well, here's number 3. So no complaining. The warm weather is pretty much behind us now, although I guess next week is supposed to be in the 70s, and that's my kind of weather. But been out enjoying the weather the last few days, especially, and transplanting some plants, and I bought a bunch at a local nursery here in Westfield, and been putting in some perennials and building up our edges and borders of our garden area. So nice weather, do lots of nice things outdoors. Okay, Justin, I don't know if you've seen this or not. Woolly bears. Woolly bears usually like black, and then they got like a stripe, and then black. This year, they're like cinnamon colored. I don't know what that means. Do you have any idea? Nothing. Emerald, do you know anything about that? Woolly bears? You know what a woolly bear is? All right, look it up later. It's one of those little caterpillar critters that will go across the sidewalk or along the road. Usually they're real dark. This year they're real light. So I don't know if that means a good thing or a bad thing, so stay tuned. Here's a fun one, and I know you're all going to do this, you're listening or watching, okay? I was watching the weather report on the TV as I was walking out the door this morning, and the announcer said, it's sweater weather. Say that 5 times fast. I couldn't get past 3 times. You see, weather becomes wetter or something like that. Anyways, it was just a fun tongue twister this morning for you. So I know you're all doing it right now as I'm talking, so please get done with it and then tune back into me. Okay, some announcements too is that Chris tells me that with Destination Chautauqua, his show, over the years, as you probably know, we do the Mayville Parade and a few other things. They've done sports events, and they've gone down to the League of Women's Voters to do coverage of the debates and things like that. This year, they did an invitation to a lot of the folks that are running for office, and we have 2 appointments, 2 interviews that we have on the books. So just for your information, on October 6th, next Saturday at noon, I'll be interviewing Joe Gerasi. And I want you to know that all the candidates, both the incumbents and the challengers, if there are one, we're invited, so it's their choice to come on the air or not. And then October 20th, Judy Einek will be here at noon for the same thing. And if they're the person running against them or other side of the ticket doesn't want to come, that's up to them. We offered debates, and I guess everybody declined debates, even though I run a wonderful debate. Okay, so that's coming up, so stay tuned for that. And if you're traveling through the lakeshore area of the county, it's grape harvest season. Not only does it smell awesome, it's also very dangerous. And then you might say, what are you talking about? Lots of traffic that you may not be used to, lots of trucks coming and going, tractors, pickers, people in little farm vehicles that are zooming in and out of the area. So just be a little bit aware that they're doing their job, they're trying to get the grapes out, and that you're gonna have to make sure that you're yielding, and sometimes there's some farm roads that are coming into the main road that you may not be aware of. So just a little heightened awareness that that's all going on right now. We want to make sure everybody's safe, okay? And then just on a personal note, I want to wish my father-in-law happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. And generally, I don't tell anybody how old they are on TV, so we'll do it this way. Yesterday, he was celebrating the 50th anniversary of his 42nd birthday. So do the math. So anyways, William Molson, my father-in-law, my wife's dad, happy birthday. If you see him this week, give him a pat on the back. Keep going. And we're so proud of him, all the things he's done over the years, and he just looks great. Okay, I have some announcements, and we're going to start over in Jamestown with our good friends at Infinity. Upcoming October classes. All right, we have a slide on this. The Infinity Visual and Performing Arts will celebrate 20 years, wow, of service to the Chautauqua region in November 2018. During this time, Infinity has provided music, visual arts, dance, theater, and literature lessons, as well as performance opportunities, group classes, leadership development, and mentoring experiences to thousands of young people in the greater Jamestown area. Now, I've asked Shane about this, and you can come from anywhere in the region. If you can get there, they'll be happy to have you. The 2018-19 program will kick off Monday, October 1, and Infinity is excited to announce their upcoming class schedule. Okay, Art with Renee Pye. I think that's how you say her name. Let's Dance, Music Adventures, Advanced Music Theory, Video Crew, Instill Leadership, Sewing 1, Beginning Music Theory, Bunny Bop musical theater project jam session, beginning steel drums, dance technique, and exploration and seasonal art. Wowza. That's a whole lot of stuff going on down there, and we're happy to let you know that. Infinity will also be offering a Vocal 101 workshop. There's the poster right there. On Thursday, October 11th from 5:30 to 6:30 with vocal instructor, Lauren, oh boy, Engalina. This workshop will teach students to use vocal technique and empower themselves through voice, and is part of a monthly workshop series for the 2018-19 program year. Now, as many of you know, I'm a musician and a singer, and many times people say, how can you sing for hours and hours? It's a technique. Go see Lauren, she'll teach it to you. For more information, including dates, times, and classes, and age ranges, please visit Infinity's website at infinityperformingarts, that's one word, .org, or call the Infinity Center at 664-0991. Infinity will also be hosting a new student orientation on Thursday, October 18th for students interested in learning more about Infinity or signing up for lessons. And I am remiss that I didn't mention that for those of you that are listening to me Tuesday at 1 o'clock, good afternoon. For all my friends and listeners at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people. I'm glad you could join us. And unfortunately, you can't call in, but you always can text us or email us with a question about the show after the fact, and we'll be happy to get back to you. All right, so good afternoon and good morning. Today's dating, is it abusive? Wow, that's a timely topic, isn't it? Natasha Yuma at the Salvation Army Anu Center is a prevention education coordinator and advocate. This particular workshop is going to be held Thursday, October 4 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Salvation Army Anu Center is 83 South Main Street in Jamestown, and this program is brought to you by CASIC, the Chautauqua Alcohol and Substance Abuse Council, as well as the Salvation Army. Pre-registration is required. Dating abuse is a prevalent dilemma in our society. And unless you've been under a rock for the last few days, this has been all over television right now with the Supreme Court nomination and so forth and confirmation, the Me Too movement, and on and on. So this is not a small matter, folks. And I have been outspoken on this in my own circles in this, and so this is something I really want to stress. If you're interested, check this out. Although many report never having experienced abuse in their relationships, some may be surprised to know that the behaviors their partners are displaying are warning signs of an abusive relationship. In this training, we will clearly define dating abuse in a way that is simple and easy to remember. In addition, this training will go over specific behaviors that are commonly used by abusive partners to control their dates. Not only will we go over dating abuse and what it looks like, participants will walk away with an understanding of how to help if someone they know is experiencing dating abuse. Bill Cosby, what a mess there too. So people, ladies, gentlemen, everybody, let's think about this, and if you're interested, give them a call at the Salvation Army and sign up for that. Okay, let's move along to Westfield now. Community Respite Care Program serving the Westfield and surrounding townships is going to be held at the First United Methodist Church in Westfield. It provides individuals suffering with dementia and early stages of Alzheimer's and an opportunity to partake in a social, supportive, and secure environment and give caregivers the temporary relief needed. Includes care providers training by the Western New York chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, so they understand the unique challenges and rewards of working with those suffering from dementia. It's a free monthly program and includes a homemade lunch, therapy, pets, games, crafts, simple exercises, fun-loving volunteers, laughter, and music. It's held the second Wednesday of every month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Westfield United Methodist Church at 101 East Main Street. For more information, give Gail a call at 867-2319. Let me repeat that again, 867-2319, or go to Westfield Respite, all one word, at gmail.com. All right? Now, the reason why I'm really strong on this one is because I've known a number of people that have had dementia, and their loved ones are their caregivers. And as we often say, the person that's afflicted with the condition or disease, whatever it is, doesn't have to be a dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever, but the caregiver is the one that often gets run down, gets tired, gets worn out, and nobody's watching out for them, okay? So this is an opportunity for caregivers to get a little extra support, some information, maybe some tips of how to take good care of yourself while dealing with a loved one, okay? Check it out. Moving along, scholarship spaghetti dinner, okay. This will be benefiting the Owen J. Miller Scholarship Fund. And this is going to be held on Saturday, October 13th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Ripley Hose Company number 1, right downtown. It includes a basket raffle. Tickets are $8 pre-sale or $10 at the door. Kids 13 and under are $6. There's going to be a 50-50 ticket drawing, $2 per ticket or 3 for $5. Scholarship will end up going to a Chautauqua Lake Central School senior who exhibits the traits of kindness and empathy in their actions towards other students. All right, you can get pre-sale tickets at Meters, at Wings and Things in Ripley, the Westfield Diner, and Easton Hall in Westfield. For more information, if you're interested, give Ashley Rowe a call at 499-5902. And finally, coming back to Westfield, near and dear to my heart, Gold Rush. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, have a listen. The Westfield Mayville Rotary Club, my home club, is going to have, again, its annual Gold Rush. It features, for your ticket, you get a Chevette's chicken and rib barbecue. Gives you your opportunity to win money, which we'll get to in a second. This is going to be held on Saturday, October 27th at Easton Hall. It's $30 a ticket. Remember, it includes dinner. Dinner is from 6 p.m. to 6:45, and then they have a reverse draw raffle starting at 6:45. Now, how this works is they draw every single ticket that's bought. Every single one is in a drum. We pull out a ticket, we announce it. So then, let's say you're the 10th ticket, maybe you win $20. And then the 20th ticket wins a certain amount. So like every 10 tickets that are drawn, there's a prize. All the way up to the last ticket that's drawn is $1,000. Okay, it's lots of fun. And the thing you can remember is you can bring hors d'oeuvres, a bottle of whatever you like to drink or whatever, and set up a little picnic party right there at the Gold Rush. It's a great time. They invite you to bring your friends, and you don't have to be a Rotary member at all, and you have to be over 18 to participate. And if you do buy a ticket, you don't have to be there to win. For more tickets information, you can give Linda Dunn a call at 326-3012, or myself, or any other Rotarian in the area will be happy to do that. I've had the good fortune and enjoyed being the MC of that and I've read every single ticket and everybody's name at a 99% accuracy. Every once in a while I get a name that I either can't read or it's got way too many vowels in it. So we'll do the best we can, but that's coming up once again on October 27th. We'll be talking about that more. So lots of fun. Okay, we're going to be right back. We're going to take a public service announcement break, and stay tuned.
Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home? Or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Sometimes we push buttons and nothing happens. It's just like home sometimes. Okay, so let's get on with the show here. Just remember that anything we talked about here earlier so far with any of these announcements, if you say, what was that number again? Give us a call at the station here. We'll be happy to tell you what it was. Okay, some time ago, I don't remember, it was sometime this summer, I got either a text message or email, something or other, and said, hey, would you be interested in having this individual on your TV show, because a bunch of us have put together our fishes. I don't know what fish is. Fish is fish. Our fish. I have to do this every time I do these things. Deer. For the Barcelona Westfield Chamber of Commerce fish extravaganza this summer. And so some of us had our fish out there. And Guppy was out there with Harris, and they were over in the park. And then there was some other ones. And some of us had remarked, wow, look at some of these fish. They're pretty phenomenal. And I think I asked about one of them. And Susan Poster said, who's the head of the whole project, says, oh, this was done by so-and-so. And I think they should be on your show. And I said, cool, have them get a hold of me. Well, long story short, we scheduled this some time ago this summer, and I'm happy to welcome to the show is Carrie Tredo, who is the owner of Two Lakes Studio right downtown Mayville, right like blocks away from where we are. So good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really excited to be here.
I see that, and that was the story, right? So we had seen your fish, and it was phenomenal.
Yes, thank you.
And it was like all kinds of stones from the lake, and it was really puffy. And most of us said, "Why didn't I think of that? That was way cool."
Yeah, it was extremely heavy.
Yes. And where is it now?
It's still outside of
Still outside.
Living Glass Gallery.
It can stay there like forever and ever. It's almost like a lasting monument.
It is.
But the board is under there, right? I mean, there's the wood was inside there, and then you just glued everything right under, and
Yeah,
then
just like you
sealed
would
it.
do ceramic tile in a house. I just did it with abnormal objects. Some of the glass pieces, I actually, if you go down, and I can't remember exactly where it is, but there's a stream that runs through Westfield, and there's like a arch and an overpass. There's a hillside, and I think it must have been dump at one point, like a long time ago, because it's no longer there and the hillside's eroded, but there's some really cool, unusual pieces of glass. Some of them are melted. I'm not really sure what the story is, but I collected them like years ago, and they were in a tub in my basement, and so I pulled them out for this project.
Would you tell my wife it's okay to have things like that in your basement? Because she thinks it's junk. And I go, no, you never know when you're going to use this stuff, right?
Oh, I'm an avid collector of junk. I mean, there's just pathways through my stuff. But that's what I use to make the fish. So
you're a borderline hoarder then?
I'm a
full-blown
proud hoarder. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
I think some people don't see it. They just see it as whatever, debris. And I think other people, including myself, we see future of retrofitting, and we're going to be talking about that. Repurposing things, and that's so cool. So anyways, that was the story how we got kind of like connected was through our fish.
Yeah.
And next year's we wine bottles. I understand.
I'm in.
I'm all in. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do that. I told Justin maybe I was going to have his pictures like jumping out of the wine bottle or something. I don't know.
Oh, looking forward to that.
And then I'll have Emerald peeking around the bottle.
I'm sure I have a tote in my basement somewhere with something that
I'm sure we could come up with something. Okay. So Carrie, with that introduction, we just met for the first time today.
Yeah.
And so the viewers, listeners right now, what would you like them to know about you and where you're from and your history a little bit?
Okay, so I was born in Jamestown. I've been in Chautauqua County most of my life. I graduated from Maple Grove in the 90s. I moved around a little bit when I was in grade school. I live in Westfield now, and I own Two Lakes Studios in Mayville, like you said. And I've been an artist since about 2012. I'm self-taught. I never went to school. I consider myself an experimental artist because, I mean, honestly, I really don't know what I'm doing. I just kind of, seriously. I just kind of wing it, and I really just don't have any fear. And I think that's kind of key to learning, really. If something doesn't work out, it's really not the end of the world for me. I'll just pitch it into my garbage pile, maybe.
Repurpose it at a later date.
Hey, exactly. Some of my greatest successes have actually been pieces that I've just reworked at a later date. So I'm just not afraid to try. So
6 years into the business, I mean, you're considered like a kid as far as like many of the folks that I've talked to, I've had on the show and so forth. All right, so you told me where you went to school. You told me that 6 years ago you got an art. What were you doing in between there? I mean, how do you go from something else to an artist? I mean, what were you doing?
So I had a couple of kids. I was married for a while. That kind of didn't work out.
Yeah, that happens.
Tried that too. Wasn't afraid, but it didn't work out. But so I think becoming an artist kind of happened out of necessity for me, because coming out of the marriage, I kind of lacked identity, I guess.
Sure.
And I kind of needed to recreate myself, and art was really like a wonderful form of therapy. And I kind of repurposed myself in a sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind
Makes
of
sense.
thematic for me, I guess.
Not to say that it's the same thing, but I think we recreate ourselves at a variety of junctures in our lives.
Sure.
I mean, when I retired, it was like, now what do I do? So I became a TV producer.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Doesn't everybody want to be a TV host and a producer?
Why not?
Well,
Musician, TV
musician.
host.
Yeah, there you go. So, but I was mentioned before the show that this was sort of a natural segue for me, because I've been a musician, I'm an educator, so I wasn't afraid to talk. It was just getting in front of these cameras that was a little scary at first, but you get used to that sort of thing. So how did you go from not an artist to an artist? Had you taken art classes, or just you saw something on TV, read a book? I mean, what was that moment?
Always a creative person. I started making jewelry like a really long time ago. I mean, probably like a teenage kid doing boondoggles or something, and then it evolved into maybe making earrings. So
all right, so there was something early on that kind of was a stream through you that you could hook to into later on.
yeah, my dad was an artist. He was doing some cool stuff with latex. He was making latex masks and things when I was a kid, and he did oil paintings and stuff. So I think I've always been around creative people, but
So you said latex mask. It made me think of that show Face Off. Have you ever watched that?
I love it.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's awesome.
You like that one too? Yeah, I could get into that big time. I mean, with all the prosthetics and all the sci-fi stuff. And,
Oh yeah, that would be fun. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So there was something in your background that was artistic, and then you kind of brought it through later on over the years. We have these latent talents, don't we? We don't have time for everything sometimes. So, all right.
Sure.
So, all right. So in 2012, what happened? You just started messing with stuff, or did you say, I'm going to open up a shop? Or how did that work?
No, I bought a couple of canvases and some paint and just started moving stuff around. And I'm a real crummy painter. I'm not, honestly, I'm really not good at it.
My
So
wife tells me that too, but I'm talking about just a wall. You're talking about painting.
I used to do that too. I
I'm
had a
terrible at it.
business, Chautauqua Home Pro, so I was out doing that too. So
I'm not allowed to paint or do wallpaper because for some reason I'm challenged in that area. She said, yeah, you get the paint on the wall, but the problem is I know where you've been. I go, what do you mean? She goes, because you got your footprints all over the house. Oh boy. So anyways, I don't paint.
well, pluses and minuses. You do other things.
Okay, so you start out with paint, which is like a visual type thing. So then how did you morph that into a business?
Well, so art business, is that what we're talking about?
Anything you want. How did you go from those two canvases that you started
Okay.
out with to your studio now?
So then I just started seeing things in my head that I wanted to make, and then I had to put visuals into form and realized I can't do it, with brush and canvas and paint. So then you have to get really creative doing mixed media work and other things like paper and collage. And then I started doing these really crazy pieces that I called tree spirits that were incredibly huge representations of like half woman, half tree, which was really meaningful when I first decided to become an artist because I was recreating myself, as I mentioned, and so that was really symbolic to me. And these things were just huge. And some people that are familiar with my work know what I'm talking about. Now I work much smaller because I've gotten a little wiser and a little lazier, I guess. So in mixed media, you're using a lot of different materials to convey an idea. And just, again, like I said, experimenting. I watch videos on YouTube if I want to try something. You know, I've tried encaustics, which is hot melted wax. Decided I don't really like that.
Say that word again?
Encaustic. Encaustic, E-N.
Encaustic. What does that mean?
Hot melted wax.
Like, that's what that word means. Is hot melted wax.
Yeah, there's so many mediums you can use to create art. It's as creative as you want to get, really.
See, I need new words for a word with friends. So when I'm doing Scrabble, I need
throw that one out there.
Encaustic. I've never heard that before. So what would you make with hot melted wax?
You can put it on a board and you can paint with it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There's all sorts of things.
Gives it texture, I guess?
Yeah, it does.
Different color wax?
Yep, and you can put paper into the hot wax and do really interesting things with it. I like 3D work as opposed to flat 2D work, and I just find it more interesting. So
do you, how do I put this? So it's sort of looked like you had an idea, you jumped into it all the way. Did you ever feel like, what am I doing? I mean, is my work good enough compared
every day?
Every day.
Sure.
Doesn't that make you a little crazy, or always worrying about if you're good enough?
Yeah, I mean.
but I mean, it's sort of like, do you ever get to the point, I wonder, where you say, I've arrived, I'm me, this is what I do, and if you don't like it, okay, I'm okay with that.
I don't know. I mean, there have seldom been a few pieces of work that I've done that I'm really satisfied with, that I really go, I really, really like this piece. I really like this little angel that I made, though. I think he's kind of cool.
Let's spotlight the angel. This is pretty cool. Can you zoom in on this? Does he have a name? Is it a boy or girl? I don't know. I can't.
I don't know yet either, to be honest with you. I mean, I think I set out for it to be a female, but I think it does look more like a boy, and I think it's kind of irrelevant because it's an angel.
It's an angel. Angels are angels.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, I was telling you before we went on that to me it reminded me of an altar boy or a choir boy, because that's
a little bit, yeah.
Because that's my history. Because we would wear these cassocks and things like that with the buttons, sort of that spiritual thing, but I didn't have this compartment on me. And let's talk about that. Keep the camera on this.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm an avid collector of junk, and I just have boxes and boxes of it, and so periodically, you know, I'll piece things together. The head is a really cool paper mache doll head from the 1950s that I found at a yard sale. The wings are made from old ceiling tiles that I found at an estate sale.
You know, that I was wondering if that was pressed metal. So yeah, that comes from a ceiling. Okay.
So most of the people at the estate sale are in the house looking for really nice things, and I'm back in the barn digging through the corners and in the broken stuff. So the box is just an old wooden box that I have. But I think what's really cool about him, or her, when you open it up, I don't know if we can really see this.
You can just turn a little bit. There you go.
Inside is a nest that had fallen out of a tree in my neighbor's yard, and there's some really cool decorative stuff that the birds used in it. Oh yeah, you can see it. See the little striped strip of paper in there? I thought it was really neat. So I think it kind of symbolizes some stuff, and his little feet are just some metal furniture pieces that I'd gotten somewhere. So I think it's kind of fun when things come together in a piece. I just think it's kind of cool. So
now, my experience has been one person's art is not another person's art.
Sure.
Okay. So I suppose somebody might say, well, that's really cute, but that wouldn't fit at my house. So how do you deal with that?
I keep it and enjoy it myself. I mean, I'm not a huge seller, and that's okay.
But is your angel for sale right now?
Sure.
Okay. So, you know, you were concerned about price tags and things like that. And I say, you shouldn't be. We could talk about things like that. So, for instance, you know, ballpark, you know, how would he be or she over $50?
Oh, absolutely.
Over $100?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, people have to appreciate, if they like these things, the time, the energy, the materials that go into these things, that, you know, that's, you got to make a living on these things. And, you know, just like musicians, people think that they can bring a band in for next to nothing. When you realize all the equipment and time and energy that you put into that, the same with your art and things like that. Okay, so you've got another interesting piece right next to them with wings also.
Yeah. So again, the same idea, you know, these are considered assemblages.
Assemblages.
Yes, because it's a collection of things that you assemble.
I'm learning new words today. Assemblages.
There you go.
What? You bring it right over here to the camera. So bring closer to me.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Oh, I recognize some of those things from my childhood, actually.
Right. So these are just individual pieces that I'd been collecting for a while, and then I made the bird out of clay, and then I distressed and painted it to look old, because that piece is not old. The wings are made from like a vintage tin tart tin or something. And then I decided to give the bird a little fascinator hat, like British style hat. And then I painted the base and rusted it. I have this paint that has iron in it, and you put an activator on it and the paint actually rusts, which is really cool in making things that aren't really old look old. So.
And it looks like he's got little head feathers there sticking up.
Yeah, so.
So is this one of these things you start out, you start assembling, and you keep adding to it? And do you ever get to the point like, oh, this is getting crazy, it's too much?
Oh, there's always a line. Sure. I did a series of like 4 of these when I did the Wild America Festival at Panama Rocks.
John
so
Weston.
I did a bunch of bird-themed pieces, so I put some of these together.
And you have the old ABC blocks when we were kids, alphabet. That's why I said I recognize those right off the bat.
Yeah, and just some wooden spools I'd collected. So, yeah.
Man, I could go in my basement right now and I could get right to work.
Yeah, definitely.
My wife would say, finally, you're using some of that stuff. So the bird's body itself is clay, you said?
Yep, it's clay.
I would have thought that was carved, to tell you the truth, out of wood. That's how smooth it looks. Now, you use the word distressed. I mean, I know what distressed means, like you're, but in artistic terms, it means something different.
So you just make it look old, like you would paint it and then rub it away. I put some crackle medium on it, so it makes it look old and crackled.
So it's almost like you're antiquing it? I don't know.
Yeah,
okay,
pretty much. Sure.
All right. And is that for sale? Everything we see today is for sale?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Where's your studio? It's on Main Street in
Yep, it's 38 South Erie Street, right next door to Rite Aid.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now those are assemblages, okay?
Yes.
But you have some other stuff here that I would not say they are assemblages. So what else?
So I also really enjoy doing eco-printing, and what that is I dye watercolor paper and silk with plant material. And how you do it...
Wait a minute, wait. You dye it with what again?
Plant material. So leaves.
Oh, leaves.
And flowers.
Oh. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah. So you just stack leaves in between watercolor paper, and I clamp it and I boil it for a period of time in. It's like a certain chemical reaction that makes it work. There's rusty iron in the water and vinegar, and it's a certain ratio. And I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know.
But there's chemistry involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's what it ends up looking
Okay,
like.
for those of you who are listening right now, we're looking at a piece of artwork that has, the question just came through my head, is that a single leaf? It looks like multiple leaves to me.
Yeah, so I just place leaves in different patterns. This is an oak leaf hydrangea.
Okay.
And after I remove the leaves from the paper, this is what it looks like.
So it's almost like an imprint left over from the leaf. And you said watercolor paper. Is that special paper?
Yeah, anybody can buy it. You can get watercolor paper pads at Michael's or any art supply store.
Is it like a fibrous material? Or?
It's just a heavier duty paper, like watercolor artists use it because when they're painting, they get the paper wet before they apply.
I remember one
the
thing.
watercolor paint.
Oh, I'm a musician. I don't know all these
Yeah.
terms, so I gotta keep asking. Watercolor paper, assemblages, plant material. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
good. All right, well, no, show us more of those, though. You have more of those.
Yeah.
So that one is sort of a golden brown. Very nice. But this next one,
There's lots of variables depending on like what time of the year you pick your plant material. Where we at?
you're
Okay.
good. You're good.
So these were done in the winter, so there's not as much.
So the chlorophyll is gone.
Yeah,
But this almost
so-
looks marbleized. I mean, it's
Yeah.
sort of grays. Yeah, it's pretty golds in there.
Yeah, you can get a lot of really cool different results, and you can't ever duplicate it, so it's really fun.
So-
I'm like a kid at Christmas opening gifts.
One of a kind. Yeah, and they're all one of a kind.
Yep.
Every time it's going to come out different.
And I do these in workshops too at the studio. So
Now that
they're-
looks like a hydrangea.
It is very good.
I also garden. I garden, so I understand
Okay.
it. But it looks like you took a hydrangea flower that might have been dried and must be used, superimpose it on the watercolor paper in the solution.
Yep.
See, I got that right.
Exactly,
And
so-
for those who are listening, this is very, very ethereal. It's got like, it looks like you've got a gray cloud in the background with golds and little specks of black in there and grays. It's really very, very nice.
Yeah, so I mean, I have these all at the studio if anybody wants to come in
gosh.
and look at them. Right? It looks kind of like ink, doesn't it? It's
That looks
really
like a
neat.
photograph.
Yeah, a lot of people too think they're watercolor.
Now on this particular one, for those who are listening, wow, it almost looks like butterflies on a branch, but they're leaves, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's just the leaves that did it.
It looks like cotton to you, okay. So it's just the way the chemicals reacted to the leaf.
Yeah.
So where did you learn to do this?
YouTube.
YouTube. I've never seen that done before like that. I've seen people take plant material with pottery. There's a term for that.
Yeah, I don't know what it
remember.
is.
It starts
Yeah.
with R. That's all I remember.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't do is pottery. So.
Okay. All right. So, but that's really very pretty. Okay.
Yeah.
What else? You got something else really?
Well,
cool?
I mean, and I do it on silk too. So these are silk scarves, and depending on how you fold them and roll it, you can. This one was rolled around a rusty can. I'm not kidding you. That's what did the cool coloring on it. And I actually forgot about this one for quite a while.
So, what color is the silk when you first get it?
White.
White.
It's just a white silk scarf blank.
So you
and
put the leaves in there and you roll
Fold
it
it,
together,
roll it up over.
around a can,
And cook
then
it.
you cook it in the solution. It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, this is something
It's
you
cool.
would see in a very fine department store.
Yep. And
Do you sell your stuff to other places? Do you like outlets or something like this?
I'm a baby artist here. I'm
Baby art,
working
you're
on
working on it.
things. Yeah, and this is just another one. So you can get.
Okay, so these are like about 4 foot long, maybe. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I want to say. Yeah,
Now,
about
I'm
that.
doing it for our listeners that can't see right now.
Yeah.
This other one, the first one, you could definitely see plant material in there. This one is a little bit more mosaic kind of looking. I
Yeah,
don't know.
purples and greens. So depending on the plants that you use and your chemicals in your water and the ratios and whatnot, it's a nice heavyweight silk.
Okay, I have a question now. Now, if I look at one side, is it different than the other?
Well, the other side's just the back side.
But it's different though, right?
But I don't think so. I think it's
Just the reverse, though.
Just the more muted side. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a front and a back to it. Beautiful, beautiful. I would never have guessed that's how that was made. I would have thought it was something that somebody did on a computer and generated it somehow. That's really
commercial
cool.
dyes or whatever. But no, it's
Wow.
just all done with plants. So
And these are for sale at your salon.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Make a great Christmas gift. And
Yeah.
and then I taught myself how to do books. So I sew books with it because I just ended up having like way too many papers.
All right, so you were like in a paper period. You were in a period of your life where you were making these plant material papers, and then you said, "Now what am I going to do with it?" So you made a book.
I'm knee deep in papers.
Let me see
still.
this for a
Yeah,
minute.
sure.
This is pretty cool. So how in the world did you do the binding? So again, those who are listening, it looks like you drilled through the cover. The covers are very hard. This book is, I don't know, we can say about 7 inches by about 5 inches. It's got 2 hardcovers, and it's all full of plant pages. So what would you do with this book? Is it? And I don't mean what do you do with it, but I mean, do you foresee people writing in it, or
Absolutely, yep.
putting their own photos in there?
Sure, both actually, like a little bit of journaling maybe. What I would do maybe is use paper clips too to clip special mementos to it, or opera tickets or theater bills.
That's gorgeous. Almost look like fish. It's like just all kinds of neat things.
Sometimes they do really cool patterns. Yeah,
that's really cool. So, wow. So how did you learn to do this? YouTube?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, do-it-yourselfers. So you drill through all that, and then you sew it somehow.
Yeah.
Wow. How long does it take to make a book?
10, 12 hours. It's a long time.
10 to 12 hours?
Yeah.
I don't have the patience.
You don't have the patience? I'm not sure, but
I have very high patience.
I've never seen anything like that before. That's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool.
It's
Very,
super
very
fun.
Do you have a name for that? I mean, what do you call it?
It's a book. I don't know.
I mean, again, be one of a kind, and it'd be very unique as a gift. So I'm telling you right now, I'm not just saying it because you're my guest here. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah,
and
you should
get
stop
around.
in.
I'll leave my wallet in the car.
Please don't.
Please don't. All right. All right. Then you have something else that looks sort of like a book. I don't know.
Yeah. So I do workshops and whatnot, and I really want to start a scrapbooking paper club, like a monthly club at the studio, and I have lots of ideas.
Yeah.
But this was just an example again of just like a template of a book that could be made in a workshop, again with these beautiful papers. And so that's something that's kind of in the making. And you could put family photos in there. That could be, I love putting pockets and things in books. So when you ask, like, what would you do with that? That's more of an example of, like, how it could evolve and what you could do.
When I saw you flash the pictures of this now for those of you, again, on the radio, this is a book in the shape of a house. That's what it looks like to me. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's pockets in here, but if you had historical pictures of family or whatever, this could be the history of your home or whatever. This is just, and again, YouTube, I'm assuming?
That one I just came up with on my own.
All right, this is a Carrie original.
Sure.
So this would be a wonderful gift to someone getting married or an anniversary or whatever. Here, I'm promoting you. See how I'm doing that?
I love it, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, and this is a book that you made and bound yourself? And it's got
and
little doohickeys there, whatever you call those things.
Yeah, just little charms. And again, like if you had maybe grandma's beads or, family broken jewelry or whatever in a shoebox somewhere, this is something that you could, do as a memento and a way to kind of commemorate meaningful items.
Everybody has a house that somewhere is a drawer or a box of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Everything that's on that little thing I recognize could have been in my dad's workbench box that he would just throw little doodads in there, or her mother's broken jewelry that she didn't want to throw away, but someday she's going to do something with it or whatever. And that would be very cool to pull those things together. You're giving me great ideas here. And again, I immediately saw that second book there, the one, The Shape of the House, that could be a great gift to hand down, as a family heirloom from generation to generation or whatever. I'm really into genealogy and things like that, so that's way cool. But having the leaves in that, and I also on the edge, I'm just looking at the second book. That's like one page or something. You've continued the design on the edging too. That's way cool.
I just made a template out of cardboard and then it's just collaged on. It's so easy. This could be done, as a series of workshops with a group of people at the studio. So
I think that would be really popular for people.
Yeah.
Because I knew a lot of people that were into scrapbooking, and you don't hear much about that, but this would be a natural for them to go into.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I love things with a story and a way to keep. Well, and another thing too is the plants that you use too. You can do it with meaningful gardens, I often go to like my grandma's garden and collect plant materials. So that's another way I think to make meaningful pieces of things with a story, which is super cool, I think.
So what kind of, I don't want to say lessons, but what do you call them? Classes? Classes have you had so far?
I do all sorts of things. We did art journaling, gelatin printing. I try to mix it up every month. I put out a newsletter every month that people can sign up for. And because I rotate it every month, I really don't get it out until the 1st. So I'm going to get things together probably tomorrow and get everything up on the website. I have a sign-up sheet at the studio. If anybody wants to sign up, they could message me on Facebook, you know, like the Two Lakes Studios Facebook page. And we can do it that way. I put the calendar up on that page. So I change it up all the time. I can take the opportunity to show my upcoming stuff for October.
I have a question before you do that.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Take this for exactly what it is. All right?
Absolutely.
All right. It would seem that many of these projects or crafts or artistic endeavors seem to be attracting women, but do you have guys come out?
I actually did have a guy come in with his wife, and they did the eco printing, and he had a lot of fun. And they were a really cool couple. They have done welding, and they just had a lot of fun. So I don't see why not.
Okay. How much are your classes generally? Just price range.
Yeah, I try to keep them really affordable. The eco printing is a bit more expensive because it's time consuming, but like $30.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
$30 for a couple-hour class. And I try to do things that teach people things that they can continue to use, you know, long after they leave. So
Now you said something about the website. What is your website? Where would people find you?
TwoLakeStudios.com.
Simple
Easy.
as that?
Yeah.
And you're on Facebook and you have a website. Okay, super.
Yep.
Okay, so you have another jangly thing, or two other things, and then we'll get to the other stuff. What else you got
Okay,
there?
sure. So again, I'm pretty predictable here. I like old things and things with a story. So this is a necklace that I made, and you're never going to believe what the house is made out of, but it is a straight razor box from the 1950s that I turned into a house, and I made the windows and doors by soldering paper, which I didn't really realize you could solder paper, but I foiled around the paper and then attached the solder, so it worked. And then it has a skeleton key too, because I love those.
Oh yeah.
And then another little clay bird, but so I like to make, like I said, I started making jewelry, and it's now just gotten kind of unusual, but I really like something that's different.
All right, I'm going to ask you a dangerous question. People
Okay.
listening right now might say, hey, I got a whole box of those keys. They don't need them. Do you accept donations?
Always, but I mean,
Of course.
if somebody had a really cool box of old skeleton keys, I would be interested in buying them too. So, like, they
all
could
right.
come see me.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody wanted to donate.
I'll be down on Monday.
Yeah.
I got so much stuff.
Yeah, we could probably work something
So we're
out, I'm
going
sure.
to deal.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. This is smaller now. This is tiny little things.
Okay.
All right.
So
What do you got? What do you got?
Again, going with jewelry, and these are something else because, again, I said I was knee deep in paper. These are rolled eco dyed paper earrings.
No way.
Yeah.
Let me see those.
Yeah.
This is paper? I guess it is. Wow. I have never seen that before, and they're light, very light. So what they
Yeah.
so for those who are listening, these are small little rolled tubes of paper, and they're hooked together with wire, I believe. And they're kind of like dangly cool things that but there's different colors, and you can see the leaf imprints slightly in them. That's really neat.
And yeah, they're really neat because you can have a larger statement earring, but they're super lightweight, which is really neat, and nothing goes to waste because
You have a
they're
pair on
very
right now. I just realized
Do I?
that.
Yeah, I
I know
think
she had
these-
earrings, but I didn't realize they were paper.
I think these have old book pages in them. I think they have some text because I collect old
You'll
books
use
too.
anything.
I will.
All right, and you got this wood item here.
Okay, so something else that is happening at Two Lakes Studios, because there's not enough really, is there's other artists that are there too, because I wanted to create a visual platform for other artists in the area too. So
spread the love.
yeah, because year-round, it's really difficult to show your work in Chautauqua County.
Yeah,
So,
seasonal, sure.
these are a couple of items that were made by artists that I have there, and I absolutely love this Luna moth vase. This was done by my friend Catherine Walsh, and this little wooden vase was done by Bill Toby, who's there, and they are so cute. It's got a little vase in it, so you could put a live bud in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to take the opportunity today to mention that there's a need for support for small business, as opposed to supporting the national chains. So we have a lot of really great items at the studio for gifts.
I'll be down, that's for sure.
Support living artists is like such a huge, important thing.
We have a phone call, and
Awesome.
then we're going to get to whatever is on the table there.
Great.
So, good morning, caller.
Good morning, Dad.
Oh, hi,
Good
Lynn.
morning. Good morning, Carrie. This is Linda Spalding. It's great to see you on the show, Carrie. I know you're running out of time.
Hi.
So I just want to tell you that I have jobs. People should call me at the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging for the Senior Employment Program. The number is 753-4471. Today's the Alzheimer's Walk also. And there are other services at the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging besides the employment program.
Okay. And when you call in earlier so we can talk longer.
Well, I tried to, but I got detained. I'm sorry. I got delayed. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right. Well, we're always glad to hear from you, Lynn.
It's always good to watch your show and to call in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Take care. Okay, we're down to a couple and a half minutes. So what do you got over there? You got some seasonal things here. These are cool looking.
Okay, so
Okay.
I love Halloween, so we're gonna do some fun things at the studio. Just some painted signs and things. I mean, anybody can come in and do the workshops that I'm doing, but I'm just gonna do some fun fall theme things. We're gonna do
We have pumpkins. Are these styrofoam pumpkins?
I'll show you what I made these out of.
Okay. So we have a blue pumpkin, a green pumpkin with,
You can use any color
kinds of
paint.
cool
I
things.
have separate. We're gonna take this and we're gonna make this.
wow. So obviously you're doing some gluing and some painting. And
Yeah.
So you start with a simple orange old styrofoam pumpkin and you make it look really cool.
Because you can reimagine things. And so these I did with this icky thing that I got at Party City. And I made it look really cool. So anybody can get creative and make really cool things.
All right, so what you're doing is you're taking, what do you call these things? I don't know. What is that? Is it-
I used some clay molds.
Okay.
And you can just dress up really crummy, cheap things and make them look cool. And I can teach you how to do it. It's a lot of fun.
And
So,
these are part of your classes that you offer.
yeah, these will be on the upcoming schedule along with some other things. But I
Okay.
was just trying to shake it up for October.
And that's very cool. Something
Yeah.
you'd like to put on your table anywhere or
Sure.
year round. Okay, we're down to about a minute. How about tell us where your studio is and the hours and all that good stuff and how to get a hold of you?
Okay, we're at 38 South Erie Street. My phone number is 716-338-8422. Website is twolakesstudios.com. I'm right next door to Rite Aid. Hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4. Stop in and see me. I think
So
that's
you're
it.
going to be there as soon as we're done here?
I'm heading right over.
Okay. You know, I might just come over for the heck of it.
That would be
I
awesome.
think it'd be fun. Okay. Carrie Tredo has been my guest today, and she's an artist and self-taught, and that's one of my favorite words is self-taught, because I'm a self-taught musician and TV producer. And it's been a lot of fun, Carrie. Thanks a lot for coming by, and I'm going to tell my wife about some of these, because I know she's interested in some crafting. We need to get into some fun things together, so maybe I'll be down for a class. So folks, that's a wrap for another Saturday morning. Thanks for coming by.
Great.
And I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. This was great. I love visuals and hands-on. And so have a wonderful fall weekend. Get out there and smell the grapes and look at the pumpkins and gourds and all this good stuff out there. Check out the music scene, the art scene, whatever. And we'll see you again right here next Saturday at 9 a.m. on Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, signing off. Take care now. Bye-bye. Very, very nice.